Now on to China's first release of official data on COVID-19 related deaths since the lifting of restrictions last month. The government says nearly 60,000 people have died in hospitals since then. The World Health Organization is welcoming the latest release, but it is asking for more information. Our Easingja has the details.
China is facing a major demographic shift as the country enters an era of negative population growth a decade earlier than predicted by the United Nations. To counter this trend, the Chinese Communist Party has announced new measures to encourage childbirth, including subsidies for new parents. The move has sparked public attention and speculation about the true reason behind the CCP's sudden push for childbirth. In this video, we'll explore the details behind China's viral mega tsunami and the potential motivations behind the government's new childbirth policy. On January 8, 2023, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention of China released a statement claiming that only 37 individuals had died from the epidemic since December 7, 2022. However, this number was met with widespread skepticism by both domestic and foreign media outlets. After international pressure, China's National Health Commission announced on January 14th that there were nearly 60,000 deaths from the outbreak in medical institutions nationwide between December 8, 2022 and January 12, 2023. Despite this figure being over 1,000 times higher than the original number, it was still met with doubt from the public. Many individuals questioned how the statistics accounted for elderly individuals who passed away due to the epidemic in rural areas and were not hospitalized. The lack of transparency and accuracy in the figures released by the Chinese government has caused many to question the authenticity of the data. It's imperative for governments to release accurate and truthful figures to build trust with the public during times of crisis. On January 16th, the Epoch Times' Chinese website published an article reporting that Master Li, the founder of Falun Gong, claimed that the Chinese Communist Party had been concealing the epidemic for more than 3 years, during which 400 million people had died in China, and that another 500 million people would die before the epidemic ends. The article also stated that Master Li had warned of a plague in China many years ago and provided instructions on how to find salvation in his poem, urging people to stay away from the evil Chinese Communist Party and find the truth quickly. A great deal of first-hand information has been circulating among the Chinese people about the massive deaths caused by the outbreak. Officials in the central province of Hunan previously revealed that 89 million of its 100 million population were infected with the virus. Information from different sources also indicates that many senior Communist Party officials, members and followers have died. The hospitals, such as the one in Shanghai, are still overcrowded with patients, and families of patients have taken on heavy financial burdens. ICU costs are particularly high, with an average daily cost of over $2,200. If patients cannot afford it, they may make a down payment and take out a loan to pay the rest. However, cash payment is required in the ICU, and patients without sufficient funds may be forced to leave. Some families even bring their own mats and rent hallways for a month to keep their loved ones alive. In many cases, Chinese families have paid expensive fees, but their loved ones died anyway before they could even say goodbye. The hospital experiences are emotionally charged, and family members feel sad and helpless with a sense of forever goodbyes. The door of the hospital separates the human world from the other world. Out of respect for the deceased and their families, the families haven't taken any pictures, but at least 5 people die every day. These deceased people even have to wait in line for the shuttles to the other world because there are too many people to handle. Various funeral parlors in China have seen shocking scenes from early December last year until now. Foreign reports have also questioned the accuracy of China's death toll, which has been a matter of controversy. More than 20 large sheds are being built, and they are used to store the bodies. There is no room for more bodies, and more than 20 sheds are being built to store the bodies. Today, more than 100 carpenters came because there is no place to put the deceased. The situation highlights how important life is, and there is not enough space to store the bodies. On January 12th, The Economist reported that a funeral worker in a county-level city in Henan province claimed that the crematorium, which previously handled only 30 to 40 cremations a day, is now 3 times busier than usual due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Bao Jian, daughter of the former Communist Party General Secretary Zhao Ziyang, tweeted on January 13th that Beijing had experienced hundreds of thousands of deaths in just a month, while the municipal government continued to hold recognition ceremonies. She expressed shock at losing 17 friends or their loved ones in less than a month. A netizen replied to her tweet suggesting that the figure of hundreds of thousands may be conservative and that the actual number could be in the millions. According to Bloomberg, a village in Lohi County of Henan Province has patients in almost every household, and a sense of helplessness pervades the village. Many families have let their family members spend their last stage of life at home, and it's unlikely that their names will appear in any official COVID-19 statistics. Reuters also reported on this situation. According to the Wall Street Journal's report on January 12th, Shanghai Courier said that every day white wreaths hanging on the doors of the apartments he delivers to, a sign that someone in the family has passed away. Numerous signs and sources of information suggest that the current epidemic in China is massive, and the real numbers are so big that the CCP would not dare to disclose them. In one funeral home, a sign on the wall reads, "Watch the body of your own family and take responsibility for moving the wrong body." Funeral parlors are currently the busiest industry in China, and related industries are also extremely busy. Factories are rushing to make coffins overnight, and trucks of all sizes are delivering them. Every day, the various Chinese civil affairs bureaus issue orders ranging from hundreds of thousands to tens of millions, with a fast turnaround time of about half a month for delivery. Master Li, who's been mentioned earlier, noted that during the SARS outbreak from 2002 to 2004, around 200 million people had died in China. Years later, the CCP noticed a decrease in the population and immediately implemented the 2-child and 3-child policies. China's National Bureau of Statistics released the November 2020 census results showing a national population of over 1.4 billion people. However, there has been considerable skepticism regarding the accuracy of this census. In December 2021, an internationally renowned demographer estimated that China's population in 2020 was 1.28 billion, not 1.41 billion as officially announced. In a previous episode, a series of examinations were done on the reliability of China's population data by cross-examining data from various Chinese government departments at different times. The conclusion was that the CCP's data was highly inflated. In July 2022, data and police records belonging to 1 billion Chinese citizens in the Shanghai Public Security Bureau system were reportedly hijacked and sold online. The authenticity of the stolen data was corroborated by the release of a sample of 750,000 Chinese citizen records for public reading. Despite the lack of response from the Chinese government, the low likelihood of the data being fabricated has led many to believe that the breach did in fact occur. Some have speculated that this may suggest that the actual population of mainland China is less than 1 billion, as it seems unlikely that a public security database collecting data would leave any citizens out. While it is possible that high-ranking Communist Party officials may be excluded due to confidentiality reasons, the number of such exclusions would be relatively small. Prior to the implementation of the 2-child policy in 2015, the Communist Party had already discovered a significant drop in the country's total population. This suggests that the population figures before and after 2015 may have been carefully adjusted. The Chinese government conducts a population census every 10 years, with the most recent one taking place in 2010. The census indicated a population of over 1.3 billion people at that time, with 1.295 billion in 2000 and 1.16 billion in 1990. The years between 1990 and 2000 saw a rapid economic growth and an increase in household income, with no significant events that could account for a drastic population decrease. With a reported population of just over 1 billion in 2020, the question remains as to how China could have lost nearly 300 million people in the 22 years between 2000 and 2022. According to demographer Professor Yi, China's population in 2020 was estimated to be 1.28 billion. He believes that 2018 marked the beginning of negative growth. After excluding massive accidents, the total population of China has increased by 85 million in 22 years. The disappearance of 300 million people is likely related to various natural and man-made disasters, plagues, family planning policies, environmental pollution, and human factors. The SARS outbreak in 2002 and the COVID-19 pandemic in Wuhan in 2020 are likely significant factors in the decline. In early 2020, the pandemic broke out in Wuhan and quickly spread to the whole country and the world. Reports indicate that during the 2 months before the Qingming festival, people were lining up to collect urns of family members. A simple calculation suggests that over 100,000 people were cremated in Wuhan alone. The epidemic was by no means limited to Wuhan, and it quickly spread throughout China. It's hard to know exactly how many people passed away because the CCP controlled all the information during the emergency lockdown. Over the 3 years leading up to 2022, there must have been massive deaths in China. The CCP's response to the tsunami of epidemics was to lie completely flat and do nothing. They used fake data to fool the public, and even the families of the deceased thought it was normal for old people to die of the virus, be cremated, delete their household registration, and go on with their lives. In the meantime, the Chinese government created false prosperity and liveliness that the public did not realize that a great disaster was around the corner. The Spring Festival transportation is underway, and the Chinese people are seeing crowds of people on the streets, in markets and at tourist destinations. People feel as if their lives are back to normal, and many are not worried about the virus. The CCP is introducing subsidized fertility policies in 2023, with anxiety about the population, even during the severe outbreak. January 10, 2023, the Health Commission of Shenzhen, Guangdong Province, announced their plans to grant subsidies for childbirth, which has attracted public attention. The Commission is offering a 3-year cumulative subsidy of around $1,118, $1,641 and $2,834 for the birth of 1, 2 and 3 children respectively. Several provinces such as Shaanxi and Yunnan have also introduced policies to encourage the birth of 2 and 3 children with subsidies. Additionally, various localities have implemented measures related to housing and childcare to support new parents. On January 17th, China's National Bureau of Statistics made a surprising announcement that China had entered an era of negative population growth. In 2022, 9.56 million people were born, while 10.41 million people died, resulting in a loss of 850,000 people compared to the end of 2021. This turning point in population growth is significant and has significant impacts on China's social, economy, and global geopolitics and geoeconomy. It's unclear why the CCP has suddenly become so honest. Some speculate that the smaller number is being used to cover up a larger fact that cannot be masked amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The Communist Party may know better than anyone about the secret death toll of the epidemic and is therefore actively promoting childbirth. However, it remains to be seen if such a promotion can keep up with the speed of life's loss due to the pandemic. We hope this video has provided you with valuable insights into the challenges facing China's population growth and the government's efforts to address them. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content.